Hello, I'm COULDN, welcome back to episode of my Minecraft Xbox Update Adventures Let's Play. This is the Let's Play where I've been playing through the various updates that have come out for Minecraft on the Xbox, building stuff, killing stuff, and of course, destroying stuff, as you can see from the huge hole I have over there. However, today, I'm actually going to be working on something a little bit constructive. So, yeah, I'm here back in my regular part of the Let's Play. If you've been watching the streams recently, which are kind of like, just super long, crazy long in fact, Let's Play episodes, but if you've been watching the streams, I've been working on this huge project all the way out, 3,000 blocks away, but I do still come back here to the main part of the world, and one of the big reasons I wanted to come back here is because I had a big realization, a rather cool, in my opinion, realization. I guess it's cool from the perspective of me thinking about me, but I had a realization that the museum, which is a project I kind of had to abandon at one point. If you don't know why, it's mostly because of the fact that I just realized, I'm never going to be able to actually, get this thing finished, because there isn't enough item frames in the world to have every single block be in an item frame. So I was going to have to pick really selectively which blocks I wanted to pick, and I was mostly going to go along the lines of okay, I guess we'll go for all of the classic blocks, or all the blocks that are in creative at the time that I started it, which, by the way, this is a really outdated look at the creative menu for the wrong game now, by the way, too. But we're going to continue this on, and now I'm going to make this entire room filled with item frames. Now that we're on Bedrock, one of the cool little benefits of doing it, we can only do this on Bedrock, is we can fill up this entire area. And yeah, that's something that's going to be kind of fun. I've spent a lot of time in background gameplays and stuff, getting some item frames. I'll be doing a lot more, because I have a lot of leather just from killing cows and breeding cows, etc. from all of that time. So now I can go ahead and... Oh, no I can't. Because I have to remove the thing on the floor here. So, again, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, that means for now we can actually just go around here, cover this place in item frames, and we can make sure, there's no performance dip, which there shouldn't be, by the way. Elgato is here, which is a really bad idea for lots of reasons. But yeah, that means that now we can actually work on filling this place with the item frames that will kind of represent what everything is. So I also need to work out a consistent order for everything. And again, I've started right here, which was a really bad idea. I think the best place to start is probably this wall right here. So we'll start all the way up there, let's say. And then we'll kind of work down, and then we'll come across to here, then we'll go round to here, and then we'll go over to there. So again, we'll kind of start this thing from scratch as far as filling in the items is concerned, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. So again, we are going to be doing this based on the Minecraft, in fact, if you want to find the exact image, in case you want to do something similar, I really wouldn't recommend it, because this is the weirdest idea in the world. What I would recommend you do is you go to minecraft.gamepedia.com/file:/Minecraft creative. Just Google creative mode, and it'll probably be the first image. But it's basically the 1.2.5, I believe, or 1.7. No, yeah, it's at least 1.7 creative menu, and then that's what we're going to be using for this. Also, I can now finish my food gallery. I have a food gallery, which is literally one item on the wall. It's super, super sad. So all the golden items are going to go here in their own little row. This is the enchanted golden apple. I'm going to have a regular golden apple, a golden carrot, and, I guess rabbits doing something else. It's really cool. All of the, I set this whole gallery up. I, built the whole thing, and then realized later, oh, item frames currently limited, and I was hoping at one point they'd be increased, and even though this is the most bittersweet way for that to happen, they technically have been increased. So yeah, we're going to start collecting all the food, start collecting all of the items. That's what this chest here is for. It's full now, so we'll have to kind of move on. It's I'm excited, looking forward to it. And in fact, actually, while we're starting anyway, let me show you what I mean by starting from left to right. So if you have this exact image, this is how the Minecraft Java creative was before the aquatic update, which, to keep things simple, is how we'll do it, because there's going to always be updates, and we're always going to stay behind if we keep trying to stay ahead. So instead, we'll just admit that, okay, that's that. So the very first block in the creative menu is a stone block. I think I have a stone block around here somewhere, but that's the first block there. Then it's granite, then it's polished granite, andesite, polished andesite, whatever this is. Oh no, this is andesite, that's diorite. I get the two mixed up so often because they're basically the same block. And then this, for instance, right here, is where that goes. Oh, these are actually spare item frames, which I can't punch down because I've got that mining fatigue on. Anyway, so we're going to be doing this. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have a big trip to do to my nether fortress because I want to get some prismarine. Because, the museum, even though it's this big, unfinished mess, and if you downloaded the world, then you know that. I think I've got one working room in here, and it's literally this one, which I do intend to use for something really cool in the future, by the way, so again, keep your eyes peeled for that. I've got a fun idea involving texture packs on the Minecraft store. But yeah, this whole area, I want to cover the floor in prismarine, and then put some coral in here, because again, there's so many more options I have for this whole place now, and it just strikes me as something fun that I intend to do. Oh, what I should do is I should put a cow in this museum next to the Elder Guardian, so I can always, replenish my my health, or get rid of that stats effect, because it is super annoying having to punch just like that. It comes back very quickly after you do it. Anyway, now we know. Now we got this sorted. Let's to try and get an item frame out. Let's place them on the wall over here, because again, every single one of these sections is going to be a quality of food. It's going to be like trash tier food, okay food, good food, great food, best food. That's kind of the goal right here. It's so exciting having, like, you know, the limitations lifted on you and having you be able to do something for the first time. And it is one of the things I appreciate Bedrock has been going. Like, you know, every now and then, you know, something really stupid happens in Bedrock and we're like, oh my god, why why this again? You know, it's just like a continual issue. But there are a lot of benefits to the whole switch over to Bedrock, and I am still enjoying some of them, and this is one of those. So with that said, now we've got this sorted, let's go fly and get some more blocks, including one of stone, which I'm for some reason missing, as well as granite, andesite, all the stuff that we don't always have, so we can get like a good start on our museum. Because again, previously it was a lot harder, now it should get a lot easier. So I guess we'll go to the Elder Guardian first, and then we'll take like a stop back on the way over at the at our home, and it'll be just wonderful. So while we do this, by the way, hello, I'm IBX I sometimes talk about things that are Minecraft, and now you've found out in the last, I guess, like 5 minutes that is true. But let's talk about what I've been up to in the past week, because in case you are curious, this week has been one of, like, kind of odd, actually. I would say I haven't done anything particularly major, but it has been a week where I've spent a lot of time, I guess, working on, you know, to put it very vaguely, like, ideas for stuff. But no, it really has been, like, as layman, as broad, and as, you know, useless as that sounds on the surface, it has been something I've been doing a lot of. Also, should we put sea lanterns with us? Like, I mean, we'll take a sea lantern. Like, it seems like a cool enough thing. Yeah, even though that is, like, a super lame thing to say, because it really means nothing, like, oh, ideas, you know? Like, I feel like if you spend too much time thinking of ideas for stuff, by the time the idea is relevant, it's, like, already past you. You've got to, like, you know, if it takes you a whole 6 months to come up with an idea to do something, then you know, unless it's the best idea in the world, then it probably won't be something. All of the best ideas I feel like actually you come up with just on the spot. But it has been somewhere I've been trying to work out, like, I guess a way to do things a bit different, both in terms of this channel, but also in terms of the second channel. I mentioned last week, like, this has been, like, the most devastating time on YouTube for me. I've never seen any time this bad, and you know, it's summer, the time where theoretically everything should be going just wonderfully. So yeah, things are pretty, I guess, dire is a good word. And yeah, I spent like a few days just being like, oh man, I have no idea to deal with this. I ate the best ice cream to make it better, because, you know, I still feel you know, this is like I feel like, oh god, that was close. I feel like this is the thing you do if you're, you know, like, you know, a woman who's just gone through a breakup where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna eat ice cream. But that's what I do whenever I'm sad, and it clears your mind, because okay, so this is me making up on the spot. I'm sure this isn't true, but I'm gonna pretend it is, so I can justify and continue my concerning habit of eating a copious amount of ice cream. But I feel like the amount of, like, sugar you get in your head after, you know, like, because, you know, yeah, normally you eat a pretty okay amount of sugar in a day, but it's all, like, spread out. If you have a huge ice cream, it was like an ice cream cheesecake sundae, you have all of that at once, suddenly it's not just like, oh yeah, well, this is you know, this is a thing I'm doing. It's like, it goes from being, it's a whole nother level of serious. Your whole brain is, like, rewiring, being like, zzz. And yeah, I feel like a different perspective on the same thing. You know, I think the reason a lot of people like oh, okay, so we need to grab some trees if we can, because that for some reason the trees are included in the building block section, or at least in the search all section that we're looking at. Do I only have these types of trees? Because I would like all the types, but I guess if that's that, I need birchwood. Oh no, I've already got birchwood. I need spruce wood and jungle wood, which I know I have somewhere around here. I've got these half slabs. Oh, there we go, spruce woods. We take one of these blocks with me too. We also need to grab some andesite and stuff, and that's probably going to be the last of, like, blocks that we can afford to take with us. So yeah, let's do this. Looking forward to it. And actually, we'll go to sleep here as well. But yeah, so I had, like, a day where I was like, oh my god, everything is just falling to pieces. Because, I mean, I feel like most YouTubers have this thought all the time. Because on YouTube, there's no guarantee of, like, anything ever really is the best way to put it. So, like, the moment anything goes a little bit awry, you're like, oh my god, this is everything falling to the ground or whatever. And although that sounds on the surface like it's purely a negative thing, and I think it is overwhelmingly something which is not good, and instead perhaps bad would be the way to describe it. I think, you know, I came out from the other end of that just like, you know, I'm just gonna do a few different things on YouTube, and they're probably all gonna be they're going to be interesting to do, and maybe they'll succeed, maybe they'll fail. But one of the things that I feel like is So, I think this is a problem with everyone in the world. When you're sad, or when you're depressed, or when you're anything, you're in the worst situation to fix that sadness, that depression, that anything. And you know, this is something like, you know, I realized there's like I mentioned before I had like a serious like, I guess, depression issue as a 14-year-old, right? And that's when you realize most that like, you're not, that if there is a set of events that will fix this, I'm not like in the, right now I'm not capable of being the guy who can go through those steps to fix this. And you know, it's the same kind of thing where like whenever you go through any amount of sadness for any reason, for any whatever the case may be, it's always like oh man, this is like the worst person for it to happen to. You know, if you want to have the best chance of getting through this, you've got to really also, we're gonna line up our blocks. So over here is where the spruce block goes. To the left is one of those. But like yeah, it's kind of one of the cruelties of the world. But also it's why you've got to, I guess, power through in the world sometimes anyway. Like you're not. You right now can't deal with this. But it goes back to what I've always said, that like, you know, there's a you of the now and there's a you of the future. And you've got to try your best to get you of the future all hyped up and ready. It might hurt you for now. But that's the thing. It's kind of like, you know how self-sacrifice, there's a lot of, oh, I've done this entire row of blocks off by one, I think. Oh no, it's perfectly on by one. It's just it's got an extra, no, okay, this looks like this doesn't align with that for some reason, but I guess I'm the crazy one now. But yeah, so I feel like sometimes you just gotta be like, you know, future me either will hate me for this or he like me for this, but you know, give it the best chance of future you liking you, because that's how you set up a solid life. I feel like the more present you is a fan of past you, the better as a whole your life probably is. I mean, there's like a billion exceptions. You know, past me did some bad, you know, probably will do some bad things in the future, whatever. But yeah, that's just my vague general feelings on this. So yeah, this is going to be my item collection. I've got a surprising amount more done already in the first, like, 10 minutes I've been attempting this than in the whole, like, 3-4 years it's been since I set this thing up originally. But still, it's kind of cool, kind of fun to see. And also, let's let's remove these carpets so we can later put something there. So, if you have any ideas for what I should do instead of leaving this, you know, grass like this, maybe I should put, like, wall blocks down there. So I actually have a wall block just to test this. So, you know, so it doesn't look like it's a carpet missing. It just looks like, oh, yeah, there's just there's a gap going down. Oh, no, you can see it. It's kind of, it's a little ugly. It's not that ugly. Let me know, do you like this better? Or should I just, like, put grass there and, like, own it? Let me know what you think with the comments, because that's what they're there for. So, yeah, had a little bit of a rough thing, and I was like, you know, we're going to have to do some reinvention on the YouTube. I feel like every time you do any amount of reinvention, there's like, or not even reinvention, but like any amount of change, I guess, on YouTube, there's some number of people who follow you who are just like, you know, I'm out immediately. I only ever wanted this for this reason, and now things are mildly different. But yeah, that's the challenge of YouTube, I guess. Like trying to, it's the challenge of real life too. Like everyone would always tell you like, oh, you changed, man. And it's like that's a thing we should encourage in people we like. Changing is, you know, like if your life hadn't changed since you were a 13-year-old, you'd be living a pretty sad life right now. And you know, maybe there's a point in your life where you should stop changing, but I don't know when that is, and it's definitely not where I'm at right now. So yeah, you should be proud of people when they change. I say this a lot, so I'm not gonna dive into it too much, but it is definitely a thing. Anyway, so unrelated to like, I guess, vaguely sad stuff, because you know, I think the reason most people don't talk sad is because if you allow it to be too much of a thing, you know, you never want something bad to define you. You want people to define you as something, hopefully, that's good or something that you're proud of. And there's like this real hazard that if you talk too much about something that's like negative, then like people start to define you as that. And although I'm not, pro tip, definitely get help if you're ever on a situation where you want it or whatever. It's also just like a thing of like, you know, but don't be like, don't have a relationship with someone where all they do is help you. Unless that's a thing they like. I mean, some people really are into that, you know, like it, which I think is cool. I'm glad there are people out there that help, but that's not my point. My point is, I wanted to talk about something which is kind of ridiculous in my opinion, because I was recently looking into the Church of Satan. So the Church of Satan, you should look it up, I guess, if you, because I feel like everyone has an opinion about what the church. Also, I think we want to do this a block lower, so I'm gonna just start placing everything else down here instead. But yeah, the Church of Satan is something, I feel like everyone has a vague idea of what it is. In fact, I got into that huge controversy. It seems silly now, like it was 300 episodes back. I got into a huge controversy because with maybe a joke about the Church of Satan. So people feel like they know what the Church of Satan is, at the very least. But the interesting thing is I looked into it once because they made a sassy response on Twitter to someone. And I was like, hey, that's a funny response. And then in their like bio it's like, you read this because you're misunderstanding what we're all about. And I was like, really? The Church of Satan's gonna be like, you know, like, oh, you just don't understand me. Like, really? The Church of Satan? And I looked into it, and the Church of Satan is actually clickbait. And that sounds ridiculous on the surface. But when you look into what their organization actually stands for, it's nothing really to actually do with Satanism. So the official one, the one that's verified on Twitter, they have a lot of followers. You know, like it's an edgy religion or whatever to say like, oh yeah, I'm Church of Satan. I believe in that guy. But the reality is it's kind of like the flying spaghetti monster, where it's like a, you know, religion that's like a fake religion to prove, you know, well, their point. It doesn't, I guess it doesn't prove anything, but it proves their point, or what the point they want to prove about how, like, oh yeah, this is how arbitrary regular religion can be. Like, you know, you could worship Satan and it'd be just as valid as what we're doing here. And I thought that was quite shocking personally. And I also feel it's kind of shocking, like, the idea that, like, they know what they're doing there, right? They know, like, their basic, you know, that's what I'm saying, it's clickbait, because they know they're, like, luring people in by being like, oh yeah, we're the Church of Satan. We worship Satan because we think he's the, you know, he's the correct deity or whatever. But it's interesting because, again, they know that's just a way to lure people in. And, I don't know, like, it's the first time I ever realized, really, that, like, clickbait isn't just this, you know, new trend on the internet because of headlines and stuff. It's something that's effectively existed forever. When you think about a newspaper headline is, like, a form of clickbait, usually. You know, I think there were some newspapers that are worse for this than others, but it's a well-known thing that, like, oh yeah, so there are just some newspapers that just have, like, extra misleading headlines, or they try to invent something for the headline exclusively because they know that's what sells the paper. And, you know, like, this isn't just a thing that goes back to newspapers and news and YouTube videos, but it goes into the entire internet. And that's why I think, like, the accusations of clickbait on YouTube sometimes are a little bit wild, because it is one of the oldest things in the world. Like, you only clicked on this video because it was what you call clickbait. You wouldn't have found out about it otherwise. And I really wish there was some better solution to this, because, honestly, so much of what makes a channel successful in 2018 can be attributed to the titles and thumbnails. Honest, if I'm being 100% honest with you, this is the scary part of it. But, like, I need to get regular stone, so I'll quickly switch out to my other pickaxe. But this is something that I guess is a bad admission to make. But one of the things I realize about, like, any of the new stuff I try to make on YouTube is it has to seem catchy purely in title and thumbnail form alone. If it can't catch on based on title and thumbnail, then, you know, like, sorry, even if it's the best idea I've ever had, but it doesn't have a catchy, or just like a hook in its thing, like that makes you go, oh, I wonder what that is, then it won't ever be successful. And that does suck. But I mean, it's the basic principles of life. A lot of people say, like, well, that's the clear problem with YouTube and our platforms. And although I'd love to say, like, this is why those people who make those 3 a.m. videos or those Green Steve videos or whatever types of videos where they're lying to people for the thing of it, like, if that gets you, like, the people who click those videos then later like that content and apparently just forgive it. And I guess the truth is like, if people are okay with it after the fact, then, you know, that's the only thing they can ask for in the end, I guess. So yeah, just something interesting. I realized, like, clickbait, it goes back as, like, literally, there is a clickbait, there is a religion that is clickbait, and that is the thing that made me realize, like, you know, this is the point, that, like, this is a thing that's been going on forever. And I guess there are a few things like that in the world. Like, as soon as you, a lot of things seem like they're new, but one of my favorite phrases that, you know, maybe it's not true, maybe it is that the more things change, the more they stay the same. And I think a lot of technology is making us realize that, like, a lot of the stuff people don't like about, you know, let's say certain social medias is stuff that's been happening in real life for a very, very long time. Like, you know, this whole, like, political polarization thing where everyone thinks that, like, oh yeah, there's the devil and then there's the guy who's not the devil, and, you know, pick one or whatever. That's something that happened in real life. It's just you wouldn't be exposed. Like, you used to have to be exposed to people. It used to be that in real life you'd be self-selecting. People around you slowly to expose yourself to. Whereas nowadays, social media means you're deliberately picking only people you agree with to follow and to learn about, etc. And you know, it's just one of those things. One of the cool things about history is the trends that repeat themselves, because this also happens in the news. Like the news, I've always thought this. So again, I follow a lot of real worldish news. Also, I think this is done now, right? Yeah. Besides like the parts where it's pouring into there, I think we just about nailed it. But yeah, one of the things I do actually do is I do follow the news on a fairly regular basis. I don't know why. I feel like the news is one of the things that lots of people follow that adds nothing to your life. Because most of it, I try to avoid this part of it. It's just stuff that's, you know, generated, created to get you clicking, to get you interested. Because, you know, the news claims to be this thing that's there to educate you or whatever, but it's really, the real goal of it seems to always be like, hey, what if we get you angry about things or get you agreeing with things? It's all about triggering certain emotions in you. And although you can argue that for anything, the point of this Let's Play is to trigger your emotion of having a conversation. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the Let's Play emotions really would be like. Positive, I'd hope. Maybe it's like a podcast style thing for you to play with games. But like, there's lots of different things. It's lots of different things to lots of different people. But the whole point of a thing isn't the thing that it says it's for. And this is I guess this is one that sounds like it's like, ooh, this is crazy stuff. But I think it's actually a pretty easy and honest point, right? Like that if something says, like if a TV show says that like, oh, the reason we're doing this is because we want to give £100,000 to random strangers, like with Deal or No Deal, or like a game show, for instance. No, it's like, we know this is cheap programming for TV that people love to watch. That's why we make it. And, you know, I sometimes think about that and I'm like, so what is the story behind my YouTube channel? You know, like what is the underlying reason behind that? And it's like on the surface, it's like playing Minecraft, checking out the newest bits of it, doing deep dives into things you can do with it. What is the real reason with it? It's really discovering. It's really about triggering that emotion in you of discovery, of that feeling of like, I just found out something new. Or even like maybe you could go a step further. You could criticize it and be like, oh. Oh, also, I need to get some more blocks, but I don't know where from. So, I guess we'll go to... I chopped down that entire forest already. Oh, there's some spanner trees over there. I need those. Let's go fly. Oh, wait, first, stone. I finally have some to put in the top leftmost slot. But, yeah, no, I guess the reality is, like, it's mostly about triggering that. Or, like, in the case of these videos, there's a part of you where you're like, oh, yeah, I think he says something that I understand. Or again, I don't understand Let's Plays or podcast stuff. I don't understand like the whole audio thing. I just really like it. But the thing that a thing is not the thing that the thing says that the thing is, and that is the most vague statement I think I've ever made. But it's something I think about a lot whenever. Also, how long have I got left of this status? Okay, 4 minutes. So I guess this is fun. I literally can't break the leaves. So, I guess we're gonna place down this water and find a cow. What if there's no cow? You know, this is the real problem we have in 2018 today. Chopping down trees it's got to be improved, I reckon. Okay, we'll just sit here. We'll just punch the tree, nice and slow. You know, sometimes slowing down is a good thing. Oh, there we go. There's a cow. Slowing down's a good thing until you have the option to do something else. But yeah, no, it's something that's. It sounds like it's a negative thing, but I think it's a positive thing. Really, it means that like you don't necessarily have to like the stated goal of something. You can kind of like the invisible goal behind certain things too. And a lot of things have those invisible goals that I think are good. Usually, sometimes they're bad. Sometimes everything's bad. But I guess if you want to generalize, then you have to kind of like ignore, or at least put those things to the side, don't you? Also, I'm not sure I have the spaces anymore to pick up this stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to drop this Neverack, which I mean, it's Neverack. I'm not gonna have a broken heart over it, but also at the same time, my heart is broken slightly. Okay, so let's fly back now, back over the wall, and let's place these blocks in there and see the progress we got done on the museum. So yeah, another thing, by the way, that I realized is that last week was episode 360, and it's crazy we've been going that long, right? Like, I can't believe it when I think about it too much. And 2, I think that's meant to be dirt. Oh no, that's dirt. That's like podzol and something else gone there. But yeah, one of the other things I realized. So we're gonna throw this on the ground. Just it's not necessary right now. What is necessary is turning this into planks. Actually, wait. I think I've got a plank of something else in here. Maybe. No, I've only got sand. Okay, so we're gonna have to turn this into planks. And then we have to get rid of the other planks somewhere, which we'll do in due course. And okay, so let's place. Okay, you can't place from a distance apparently in this version. Then we'll make some dark oak planks too. Oh, we could just turn them all into planks. That's the solution. There we go. Solutions of Toy Cat, making things a bit easier. So there we go. I think just in this episode alone, we got most of these blocks covered. We're only missing regular granite, which I could have gone. I just didn't have the space. Grass, which actually, I have a bunch of that on me. Oh no, I don't have any of that on me. Let's go get some of that, I guess. Grab a single block from over here. Take all the time in the world, because I'm mining fatigue. Then grab it with... Oh, I can't pick up the grass. Okay, let's just throw that there. There we go. Easy as that. Throw the grass in there. Look at this. I've placed most of the blocks here. And then we've got like some more going down there, then some more going down there, I assume. And yeah, we're going to have the entire creative inventory. Slowly but surely, it's going to be just wonderful. So yeah, I like this. I like this as a build to recommend. Like trying to collect every block in Minecraft. It seems like a silly goal, but it's actually kind of a fun one. And I think over time, now that I know I actually can do everything I want to do, I will evolve this. The painting room will come up at some point in the future. Keep your eyes peeled on that one. And yeah, I think I want to summarize like thoughts of the week. Even when everything feels like it's crumbling, it always feels like it's crumbling 100 times worse than it is. Because I think humans are really wired into gradual changes. You know how people say like, if you boil a frog in water, it won't notice because it's going so slow? That's not true, by the way. If you boil a frog, the frog knows you're boiling it. And the frog does feel pain, and you shouldn't boil frogs. If there is if it's avoidable, I guess, at the very least. But yeah, you know how people say that? It's kind of the same thing with people, where like, you know, like it seems on the surface at the very least that, you know, when you have a day of like 2% change, that feels amazing. When you go to the gym and you work out so hard and your muscles get 2% stronger, you feel so much more than 2% better that day. Or if you get a big bonus and your financial life takes a 2% turn, you know, like getting a raise of like 5% or something from work feels amazing, even though, you know, that's 5%, and, you know, after taxes it's like 3% or something, depending on your jurisdiction. But that's because I feel like we love gradual changes, and that's why any gradual change in the opposite direction feels like a huge change down. Like a small change up feels like a huge change up. A small change down feels like a huge change down. And I guess the best advice is, no matter how bad things feel, is if you wait a week, then you know, you won't have like a 2% loss of quality of life every single day for more than a few days in a row. And if you just like learn to adjust it accept it as the new normal, then things get a lot more okay. But maybe that's just me being crazy and like being a mathematician. Maybe for everyone else, that's like the most nonsense advice you ever heard. I don't know, you can kind of tell me. Also tell me, do you like how the dead forest is looking? It's taking a lot of iron, like way more than I figured. I guess I need to get some shears of mending or something. But it's taken longer than I figured, but it's actually turning out kind of cool. Like the bits that are sheared, it looks like a genuinely dead forest. Like having just a few trees scattered in here too makes it look even better in my opinion. So yeah, I like how this one's turning out. I think creating my own biomes is good. I think also the museum is going to be a lot of fun. And in the next episode, who knows what we're doing, because honestly, the Let's Play kind of is this with like, you know, things I really want to play around with in Minecraft this week, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like it if you liked it, share if you liked it, subscribe if you're into it, and make sure you hit the bell, because I love you very long time. Also, wait, actually, one quick thing. Every Let's Play since we've gone to the Bedrock era has to be one take. So I missed out something like, oh no, I said it was episode 360 last week, I didn't recognize it. So yeah, there will be a download at 400, so in 39 weeks you can download the new thing we got going down here. And yeah, just something, I don't know. There you go. That's all I had to say on that. Probably wasn't worth coming back to it now. In fact, this is another one of those awkward outros where I'm just going to cut myself off mid-sentence. Bye.